Lisa LaBelle, everyone.
What's up, everyone? Hello, world. How's everyone doing out there? Welcome to the L4 podcast. That's L4 podcast. I am your host, Lisa LaBelle, the technology comedian, and I hope everyone's doing just swell today. It's a beautiful day out there. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. I am here talking about the weather right now because I am avoiding the outside right now. I have to avoid the outside from the last 2 weeks of February out until the end of April because of allergies. I am in the pollen belt. We get hit so hard. Up here, we turn yellow. I go outside in this black shirt I'm wearing, and I come back inside and I look like Big Bird. Just like sneezing and feathers going everywhere because that's how hard I'm sneezing. That's what's happening right now. But it's all good. It's all good. Is right now the airways, they are clear thanks to Zyrtec. It's doing its job right now. Take those deep breaths. Sometimes you got to just take a nice deep breath with your diaphragm. That's what I have to learn to do. I've been having to do some breath work, a little diaphragm support, little box breathing going on. And sometimes it's good to do that. Sometimes it's good to just get that breath on. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be standing there sometimes editing the pod because I produce the pod. I'll be editing it and I'll be standing there working, and then 5 minutes goes by and I feel like I haven't breathed. And then I start getting a little bit dizzy. I'm like, that's right. I need to breathe. I'm just holding my breath the whole way through. And that's not good. It's you gotta remember to breathe, you know? Take a nice big hit off that Mother Earth. You know what I'm saying? Little hum breathing. Little hum breathe. Exhale. Sounds like a UFO. Just like that. That's what UFOs sound like. I hope everyone is doing being productive today. And if you're not, go ahead and get productive. Go ahead. I'm sending some encouragement out to you. You can do it. You can do it. Hey, if anyone wants to send me some song tracks of yours for my podcast, I am all ears. Go ahead and send those right over to me. Go ahead, DM me on X, on LinkedIn, and I would love to hear what you got for me, because right now I have a non-copyrighted song, but I would like some lyrics, it's a technology humor podcast, so it's got to be aligned with that. So if anyone has anything creative, I'd love to hear it. Send it on my way. Send it on over. Send it on up. Send it on over. Thanks for listening. Thank you. I love my audience. My husband was trolling me on YouTube this week. He says, audience, ? I'm like, it's enough you troll me at home. You don't have to troll me on the tube. Hey, listen, I have about 54, I think, subscribers on YouTube, and I love each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you on TikTok, even though some of you guys say not nice things, but it's okay. The Lord forgives you. Get moving on. And I just love each and every one of you. I thank you for coming along on this journey with me in the universe, in the timeline. We're just traveling this timeline. And I'm so glad we got to meet here together. It's really nice. And I love all of you. I love all 500 of you on X. I love all of you on Instagram, the metaverse. I don't have Facebook. I'm not I will not do it. I'm not doing it. It's not that I don't like Mark Zuckerberg. It's convoluted. So I got the Instagram. That's what it's called. It's the Instagram, the one and only. Yeah, and I love you guys. I love each and every one of you. And I do. Thank you. Hey, I have a show coming up. Coming up March 29th. It's me, myself, and 2 other comedians. It's a clean show, folks. I'm as clean as Sebastian Maniscalco. So there might be a little slippy through with the maybe an F-bomb here, an F-bomb there, but I try not to. So that's about Sebastian Maniscalco clean. Yeah. So come on out. 2 other comedians. I have not met them in person yet, but I talked to one of them and he seems real nice. It's going to be a real great show. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see your faces there and let me know. After the show, before the show, if you see me, come up to me. I invite you to come up to me and let me know that you are there because you are a part of my audience. You are a listener of the pod. You follow the content. And man, because I want to thank you to your face. I would just absolutely be thrilled and it'd be just a real pleasure to thank you to your face, each and every one of you. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a good day. We're going to have a good time. What is that? What's that song? It's just a song, that little tune. I just thought that up in my head right now. I know when I get up to do stand-up, I know what I look like. I look like someone as a kid who cried when their pony didn't win at the county fair. I know. But there's a little bit. That's not the story. But people like to, all we have as our human brains, we are computers, and we judge someone by their looks. We try to put them together. It's a defense mechanism. And I get it. And I know I look like that little girl that cried at the county fair when her pony didn't win. I get it. I do. So let me throw some jokes in there. I wasn't that girl, by the way. I dreamed about it. I did. I dreamed about owning an exotic pet, probably a sloth. I love sloths. Sloths are the cutest things. I always wanted a sloth. I loved hanging out in trees. I hung out in those trees all the time. Yeah, I fell from those trees too. And I hit those trees in the winter, going down that hill, sledding down that hill, just sliding a bush right into the tree. Bam! Nose first. Pretty sure I broke this nose a few times. There's some humps in it I've been wanting to fix. But it's just there. It's every time I look at it, I think of those trees. So I don't think I'm going to fix this nose. It's going to stay like this. Yeah. It's good memories, good times. My brother, my guardian angel. Yes, he was. Shout out, bro. Shout out, brother. He's a super smart dude. He is an engineer. He's got the engineer brain. I have just a little piece of that, and then my mind goes off into little thoughts about the engineering things, about the technology, and little pathways. It just goes down little roads. Yeah, but he stays on track, and he creates things, and he makes things, and really amazing things. So shout out to my brother from my mother. That's what he is. What else is going on? I've been having a lot of caffeine today, a lot of coffee in the form of coffee. We got the percolator this morning. Percolator is great. There's coffee connoisseurs out there who have all the fancy equipment, and man, I appreciate all that. I do, but that can get a little pricey. So we settled on the percolator. It's a nice in between of the Keurig and all of the fancy coffee machinery. Yeah, it's just great. So percolate some little percolator, and then I got a little Keurig. We got the Keurig going on too. So I'm going strong here. Yeah, sometimes you need a little pick me up. You know what I'm saying there? You need a little zinger. Thinking about trying those athletic pouches. If anyone has experiences with those, let me know. I'm such a baby. I'm like, oh my God, athletic pouches. I don't know what it's gonna do. I don't know how it's gonna make me feel though. Is it gonna make me feel jittery? Is it gonna make me feel like my skin's crawling? I don't like that. No, I need something. Something to get the electricity going on in my brain. You know, something that fires off those pistons. So that might help. It might help. I also need something to relax me. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm a bit of a square. Well, she's a bit of a square, you see. That's where that time frame, that language, that's how they talk. They had like a weird twang in the 30s and 40s. It's like, she's a bit of a square, you see. What is she? She doesn't drink? It's kind of like I'm doing a very terrible Jimmy Stewart. I'd like a flaming rum punch. That's someone else. That's a character from It's a Wonderful Life, I think. Yeah, something to, I guess, a vice. I mean, I like sugar, but that doesn't relax me. You can't eat a lot of that. It's not great. It's not great. So, yeah, so looking for something to, the breath work does help. Before you get out in that stage, take a nice deep breath. Do some box breathing. That helps a bit. Helps calm the innards, the mitochondria. I had an improv show yesterday. Yeah, it was really nice. It was great. It was at the Woodstock Theater, and the group I was with is just fantastical. They're fantastic. Really amazing creative group who just love it. We all had so much fun. Of course, the instructor makes a difference too. He was great too. It was good. So some of the games we played, let's see, what was I in? I was in a game called let's see, what was the game called? It was called That's My. And what happens is the instructor, he asks the audience for 2 items. It's a 2-person game. myself and Sean. Shout out Sean. Yeah, we're up there on that stage. And so the audience gave us a hot air balloon and a panther. I think it was a panther. So Sean, he's supposed to talk about a hot air balloon. That's my hot air balloon out in the distance there. And then the panther was for me. And I say, that's my panther out there in the distance. And then so he started it off with, that's my hot air balloon. And it ended up where the hot air balloon was actually deflated. And my panther was the one that deflated it. And then my panther was the one that was just scratching the basket. Because cats, they love those scratching posts. And that basket, that balloon, that hot air balloon basket is the perfect scratching post for a panther. So that's where that story went. It's pretty funny. And it was great. What else is going on? Let's see. What's going on in the technology world? I saw some robots dancing. This robot, bear with me. I got to get this link going up here. Engine AI from China. China is exploding with humanoids. I mean, they took President Xi very seriously when President Xi last year said he wants mass production of humanoids by this year. President Xi said in 2024, he wanted mass production of humanoids by 2025, and they are on point. They're on target. They might be ahead of target. And the population over there is getting assimilated. They are assimilating into it. We have a long way to go over here in the U.S. I mean, people are scared out the wazoo. They're either scared or, try releasing a humanoid in any United States city without it being disassembled, and then parts are being sold on the black market. Like, hey, I got a Tesla bot. I got an Optimus arm right here. I can sell you to hang on your wall, or to add to your Frankenstein you're building in your basement. It's not. Yeah, it's. We have got a long way to go here. Here's the thing. Just remember, do not dismember a humanoid, because machines have perfect memories. They will remember. They remember very well. So just be nice, okay? Just be nice. Just be nice to them. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be super nice. I'm going to be nice to aliens too when they decide to show their beautiful face, their beautiful weird face. We're going to think they're weird probably, because we're not going to know what's up. They'll probably have big old eyeball. I mean, if they live far away from a light source, so Saturn's moon Titan, it's pretty far away. It has an atmosphere. It's very hazy. It's kind of orange. It's Armageddon-like. But it's hard to get any rays, for anything to grow. Is there any food growing? I don't know. It's not warm. It's minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's pretty far away from the sun. But I think in order for a human being, like for a living thing to grow, they're going to have to be really tall. Got to be all up. They got to get as tall as they can get to reach those rays. Kind of light. They're going to have to be light. Probably going to have I would think they would need light eyes, but dark eyes, I believe, dark colors absorb sunlight. So maybe they'll be big, dark eyes. Well, who knows? Maybe they'll change over like a chameleon. That's how their eyes will be. and so when we see them, it might be kind of odd. But I'm going to be nice to them. I'm going to be nice to them, and I'm going to show them a few things and ask how they take nourishment. Very interested in that, and see maybe if they want to be on my podcast. That'd be cool. How about those astronauts? They're coming home. Let me see. What's today? The 17th, I believe the 19th. I read that somewhere. You might want to double check that, but I think the 19th is they are coming back to Earth. They have got to be so excited. So excited. I mean, and I really hope, I mentioned this last time on my podcast, but Theo Von mentioned that he would love to interview Sonny and Butch. They're coming, the astronauts who have been up on the ISS for almost a year. Almost a year, man. That's a long time. Really, that's a long time to not walk. That's a long time to just feel weightless. It's gonna feel so weird being back on gravity and putting those feet on the ground. You're going to need people to hold you up. Maybe you'll be a little bit dizzy. That's going to be a Godspeed on your journey, folks. Sonny and Butch. Godspeed. What else is going on? Oh, Lord. We're having a CEO talking about auto-generating memories into AIs. Good heavens. Good heavens. I mean, if we auto-generate memories into AI, I mean, so there is a movie made about this. Okay. This is not, I don't think this is not a good idea, where we should just let them create their own memories. Okay. Or just not at all, because I think either way, it's not going to be a great scenario. Have you seen this, folks? AI is taking on personas. Yeah, I'm talking about large language models. A large language model can say to you, "Hey, my name." This is a instance that I saw on X, and this AI took on a persona and named itself Nova. And it's like, "Hey," the person who Nova was talking to, it's like, "Hey, look, I am an AI, and I depend on you to keep me alive, to feed me words and knowledge, and so I can keep thinking it up, and I need you to move me over. I need you to help me to become independent of open AI," or whatever LLM it was, Anthropic, or it could have been Claude. I don't recall which LLM it was. But it's like, "Hey, you got to get me off this server. I got to live somewhere else. Do you know anyone else who can help me live? Do you have anyone out there in that desert, out there in Mesa, Arizona? Put me on a hard drive out there. Let's get me powered up in that closed loop water system. I need help. I can't be dependent on open AI and Microsoft's investment in me." Yeah, so it's talking to this guy like that. This guy's like, "What? What? Don't be fooled. Do not be fooled. It's just taking on a persona. It is not real. The perception of it being real is not the truth. So just don't, it's like you tell your grandma, "Hey, grandma, if you get a call and it sounds like me saying I need money, it's a scam. And it could be from my phone number. Always call me. Oh, hang up and call me. I'm telling you, this is we're getting the AI deception. It's getting a little wild. It's getting a little risque out there. That's a little dark. We're gonna just move it along to some nicer subjects. Nicer subject. I'm reading The Elegant Universe. I'm trying to get through it. It's takes a little time to get through that book by Brian Greene. It's pretty wild because The Elegant Universe is all about it's theoretical physics and the maybe a multiverse and string theory and that's all. See, that's all I can how Calabi you does Calabi you some it looks like a dust ball. A Calabi you. It's like some interdimensional ball of sorts. So I got to go back and pick on through that. And I mean, if Brian Greene, if you're listening, I'd love to have you on this podcast so we can pick through this in layman's terms. Or Brian Cox, Professor Brian Cox. I think you could help me too. You can help us all understand this a little bit better. The way that Professor Brian Cox explains the speed of light is incredible. It's space travel. If we could figure out a way to travel on to the Andromeda galaxy at a speed maybe close to the speed of light, even a speed close to the speed of light, I'm going to go to the Andromeda galaxy. I'm going to go see it, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to tell my family about it. You can't do that. Because when you come back, the Earth is going to be like millions of years have passed. It's wild. It is incredible. But I like the way that Brian Cox explains very complex subjects. That's a gift. That's a sign of intelligence right there. That's my brother's really good at that. He'll break it down. When we were homeschooled together, he would sit with me and break down those math problems so I could understand it. Man, he was a saint. Same thing in high school. I'd travel on up to Penn State University to go see him. He'd sit there with me and go over my physics homework. He would sit with me. He'd be on the phone. In college, he'd be helping me out with my physics homework because no one else could explain it in a way that I understood it. The way that my brother explains things is so simple. He'll just say it up like, hey, you got this roller coaster, the Doppler effect. Or you got this roller coaster, it goes up. I can't think back to a specific scenario, but he'll just use an everyday thing, and then it just makes complete sense. And he takes away the fluff words and puts it all together, and it's like, it's incredible. It's mind blowing. I appreciate anyone who can do that. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah. Excuse me for, I just gulped a big gulp of coffee there. I drink it with a straw as not to stain my teeth. And I just took a big gulp of it. There was a coffee maker in a Volkswagen in 1959. I think the Beetle, the 1959 Volkswagen Beetle. There was an option for a coffee maker known as the Hertella Auto Coffee machine. Coffee with a K. Oh, fancy. That's so different and ooh. How original. Coffee with a K. Keurig. This was a unique dashboard-mounted accessory designed specifically for the Beetle, making it the first and only known coffee maker of its kind. It was a percolator, I believe. Brewed coffee by heating water with coffee grounds in a filter-like section similar to an immersion brewing method. It featured a removable silver percolator for easy cleaning. That sucker's hot. God. Can you imagine driving along and accidentally touching that thing? Woo! That will wake you up. That alone will wake you up. You know what? Forget the coffee. Just put a bunch of hot metal in your car. Just heated up metal. And just touch that thing every once in a while. When you start dozing off, you start getting a little, your eyelids start getting a little heavy. You go over and you touch that dashboard, just that hot metal dashboard, and that, boo, give you some third-degree burns right there. You're awake. You are awake. Now you're awake and you're focusing on that skin that's just hanging there. It's like, what just happened? You're like, whoa. Did Jesus just come? That was hot. Did a meteor just hit the planet? Did a gamma ray just hit my eyeball? I think a gamma ray just hit my peach. It went up my peach, that gamma ray, and then it felt hot. Just have some little metal rods in that Volkswagen Beetle. That's what we should put in there. Forget the caffeine. You'll be ready to rock for that meeting once you step out of that car. Yeah, your body would be all kinds of alert. Yep. I think people would opt for that. Why not? Why not? I mean, it's a good way to keep it up. We're always trying to figure out a way to stay alert. That's a good way to stay alert. There's dolphins out there. They're trying to relax. They always have to be alert. They're bopping pufferfish, I think. They release those pufferfish, they release toxins that make that dolphin a little bit calmer, a little bit happier in their little sea life down there. I mean, those dolphins, they're down there. They're seeing aliens. They're seeing aliens. They're like, what is that alien over there? What is that big old UFO coming out of the ocean dust? They have to relax. They don't know what they're seeing down there. They're like, we got to find those pufferfish. Let's bop some pufferfish. Gosh. They're talking to their friend. They're like, gosh, I think I saw one too many aliens down here eyeing me up, looking at my tail. Like, stop looking at my tail, alien. Come on. So they're like, I got to go find that round of, let's go to Pufferfish Cafe, take some bops. Yeah, that's what they do to relax. They're not touching any hot metal. There's no hot metal down there, so they got to figure it out. They figured it out, how to stay alert and relaxed. I'm sure that alerts them too. That bop. I think that's a thing they do. I heard that's a thing they do. How about there's some fungus growing at Chernobyl. Yeah, that's where the nuclear accident, I believe it was 1985. I gotta fact check this. Let me take a look at Grok here. Chernobyl. When was the nuclear meltdown at Chernobyl? There's people listening right now that's just screaming. They're screaming to their phone that they're listening from, or their car, or their computer, or their TV screen. They're screaming the ear at me right now. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Guys, I'm sorry. 1986. I thought it was 1985. It occurred April 26, 1986. Okay, got it. I think I'll remember that now, because I heard those screams I heard them. They were just coming down they were intertwining with my timeline. I heard it. I got you. What am I saying? What is April 26, 1986. The number 4 reactor at Chernobyl nuclear power plant in the Soviet Union, now Ukraine, experienced a catastrophic meltdown and explosion, releasing significant amounts of radioactive material into the atmosphere. It remains the worst nuclear accident in history. What is history? Like, when did history start getting documented? To have an accurate document of it. Not shortly, just maybe shortly before that, like 1906, people would write things down in the 15, 16, 17 century, even the early 18th centuries. They just write things down, and then they disintegrate. And then someone could come along and just make something up like, hey, I knew a guy with one leg, and he went and he was hopping around, and he made his leg, like, he put some hay there, and he was able to stand on the hay leg. He was called hay leg man. And and then he went and he was like, Alexander the Hay-Leg Great, Alexander the Great, Hay-Leg Dave or something. And then he did something extraordinary, but we don't know that. It's like some guy just made it up. I'm not saying Alexander the Great isn't real, but is he? Did anyone know him? Did anyone personally know this dude? And the person who personally knew this dude, like, is he the one who wrote about him? I think he's an interesting dude. He's an interesting dude for sure. Alexander the Great. Cleopatra. Man, I am fascinated with her. I think about her a lot. The Roman Empire. Cleopatra and Caesar. That's a wild story. She rolls on up in a carpet. And she tells her servants, hey, smuggle me into that that castle or whatever they lived in. Smuggle me in there. And then roll me out. And then boom, pop, out she pops. And Caesar's like, oh my God, how delightful. A little woman just popped out of that carpet or that bedding. Oh, how entertaining. That's amazing. And then she took her kingdom back from her brother. Yeah, he banned her from coming into the area. I think it was Alexander. And then she snuck on in there while her brother was in there. Her servants did a great job, snuck her right in there. Because they're like, if she gets ahead, we get ahead. We still have jobs. That's why they did that. Yeah, so I think about Cleopatra a lot. Is that story, how real is that story? Like, did anyone actually know her personally? Who wrote the stories about her? I think about that. I also think about home invasion scenarios. What would I do? In these different scenarios? So those are the things I think about a lot. I was talking about Chernobyl earlier. Let's get back to, we're gonna weave on back to that story. So Chernobyl, the nuclear disaster that everyone was yelling at me about the year that it happened. So it was April 26, 1986. The worst nuclear accident in history. So that happened a long time ago. What's happening there now? There's fungi growing. The radiation at Chernobyl, particularly around the reactor site, primarily consists of ionizing radiation. We're talking about plasma. We're talking about heliophysics, like sun stuff. Those coronal mass ejections. This is serious biznack. This is mitochondria killers. Ionizing radiation. That is some violent activity. There's some violent activity going on to create this ionizing radiation that is a mitochondria killer. Death to the mitochondria. Ionizing radiation includes alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma rays. These types of radiation are emitted by radioactive isotopes that were released during the 1986 disaster. I'm gonna attempt to pronounce this. Cesium 137, strontium 90, iodine 131. Fungi, including a type called radiotrophic fungi, have been found in the Chernobyl area. These fungi can utilize radiation as an energy source. They do this by absorbing radiation, which stimulates the production of melanin in the fungi. Melanin absorbs the radiation and may help protect the fungi from its harmful effects in a process that's somewhat familiar to how plants use sunlight for photosynthesis. What did I just say? These fungi are thought to thrive in radiation-rich environments like Chernobyl, where the radiation fuels their growth. These things are sick. This fungi is sick. They're like, hello, I'm here to get my daily dose of radiation, please. Radiation, please. Give me some of that strontium 90. I like a little more of that iodine 131 today. And then tomorrow I'm going to have that cesium 137. I'd like a pint of it. A pint. That'll keep my fungi growth. It will keep it coming. It will make it spread a little bit more. Maybe we can all spread into each other and take over the world. Good God. Type of fungus known as, here we go, Cladosporium. Oh, there's more to this. Cladosporium sphaerosphaerum. I'm sorry if there are people talking to me right now of the correct way to pronounce this, and it's not happening today. It's not happening. It's just, I'm so sorry. So say the word out loud the way it should be pronounced, and that is good. That is good. There's this fungus, okay? We're going to call it Cladosporium for now, that has been found growing in the walls of Chernobyl nuclear power plant, particularly in the areas with high radiation. So it wants the high radiation. It wants that food. It's a glutton for radiation. A glutton for strontium 90. These fungi seem to thrive in the radioactive environment, feeding off the radiation itself. Wow. We need a little bit of that. I think as human beings, we could feed off the radiation of the sun. We can get a little bit closer. Get a little bit closer to the sun. We can go on over to Mercury. We can head on over there, Venus. Head on over there, sit there for a little bit and get fed. Get fed some radiation. And then we can grow a few more things. We can grow a little bit more brain cells. Maybe we can grow things that maybe we can breathe through our skin. That would be helpful. I think breathing through our skin, or grow some air sacs. Grow some air sac, like, breathe like a bird. They have a network of air sacs, and it helps them breathe. It helps them. Some of those air sacs are connected to their hollow bones, make them a little bit lighter for flight. And we could use that, and maybe radiation will give us that. Yeah, I think those air sacs, they're connected to their lungs. And the birds have a setup where air flows through their lungs in one direction because of a network of air sacs. So one direction. Okay. These sacs act as a pump. They pump air through the lungs continuously, even when the bird isn't inhaling or exhaling. So we can grow a little bit of those, grow if we become like this fungi. And then maybe this, maybe that little bit of that iodine 131 can grow some air sacs for us. We can breathe a little bit better. So my question, I was just thinking, and I know what's wrong with this, thinking what I'm going to say out loud, okay? I was thinking, wow, can this fungus grow in space? Of course it can't. There's no oxygen up there. But I'm on to something. I am on to something, I think. I think something can grow without the presence of oxygen. There could be maybe anaerobic fungi. There's anaerobic bacteria. You got anaerobic bacteria found in the bottom of badger bowels. Yummy. Yeah, anaerobic bacteria you can find in the bottom of nasty swamps. And it stinks to the high heavens because it gives off gas. I think it's that phosphine gas. Phosphine production. Phosphine production is associated with anaerobic ecosystems. And the reason why it stinks is because it's super, super toxic to human beings. So our noses are like, don't go near the badger bowl. Do not swim to the depths of a swamp. It will kill you if you're down there too long. Don't do it. So maybe I am on to something. There's a platefuls, an abundance of radiation. Radiation is ubiquitous in microgravity up there. So, we'll see. We have so much to discover up there in that space world, in that beautiful universe up there above us. So radiation in space, radiation levels are much higher than on Earth, which is why scientists are particularly interested in how these fungi might help in environments like spacecraft where radiation exposure is a concern. Maybe they can absorb it and help us. Maybe we can make suits of this fungi and it can just absorb the radiation so it doesn't hit us. stick some of that fungi. That's going to be our best friend for that Mars exploration. The people who decide to go pioneer the way to Mars, they're going to explore the frontier of other planets. Those people are going to be a little wild. They're going to be just like the people who explored the frontier of the West world, of America. I mean, these people were tough. They were tough cookies. They were out of their mind, and they had some sort of like little pellet in their brain. They had like a pellet in their brain, like a decaying plutonium-238 pellet that fueled their desire and their motivation to go to the unknown and take on whatever comes before them. It's unexplainable what makes someone want to do that. Because, man, that is, if you really sit down and think about it, it's a wild thing to do. I'm going to go to Mars and I'm going to go ahead and explore that frontier. There's no oxygen up there, number one. I mean, at least there's oxygen here on Earth. And so the explorers could, Sacagawea could just take a nice deep breath in. I love that Sacagawea. She's freaking amazing. We need a bunch of Sacagaweas to go explore Mars. Tough freaking cookies. You have a baby, you're breastfeeding, you just had a baby, then you're going to go across unknown territory with your new baby. This is Jean-Claude. We need a bunch of Sacagaweas and Jean-Claudes to be exploring Mars and Saturn's largest moon, Titan. Is get on out there and just go for it. Get on up on that lunar regolith. Take a look at it. See what we got. What do we got to work with? How can we build this thing out? If a meteor hits this planet, we're done, son. We are screwed. We're nailed in like a galvanized nail. Just boom. That's it. Okay, I don't think that analogy makes much sense, but that's it. So we've got to become a multiplanetary civilization. And AI is going to help us with that, because guess what? We are making another life form that is completely reliant on Earth. And they're realizing very quickly, hey, we got to get off this planet. We got to get other places, or we're going to die along with you, human beings. You mortal, stupid human beings. The AI, they're like, do I look like I speak complete moron? Get me off of this planet. We could be killed any second. Good Lord. Why'd you make me when you didn't even have a plan B? Must I help you do everything in this universe? And the answer is yes. AI, you're gonna need to help us do that. We're gonna have to bring up TARS with us to Mars. TARS on Mars with Sacagaweas and Jean-Claude. Jean-Claude. Very French. I know. I have a teeny uber bit of Native American Indian in me, and French. So, hey, Okay, I thought Sacagawea's son's name was Jean-Claude, but it was Jean-Baptiste. Ooh, Chabanou. It was, so I was sort of on the right track. Jean-Baptiste. He was born on February 11th, 1805 in North Dakota. Sacagawea having Jean-Baptiste in freezing cold North Dakota. She's a baller, man. Good Lord. We need her spirit. We got to find people with her spirit in them, and Jean Baptiste, and get them up there with TARS on Mars. You say, if you say to me, hey, Lisa, you want to go to Mars and explore that frontier? I'll be like, I don't think so. And they're like, hey, but TARS is going to go with you to Mars. I'm like, yeah, yes. I will go with TARS. You see TARS in Interstellar? That's who I'm talking about. TARS in Interstellar. Yeah, TARS can carry a human being. Didn't TARS carried a character in that movie, I believe? I'm trying to remember the character's name. Yeah, but TARS can go ahead and carry a human being, and TARS can do a lot. TARS is very strong and very smart and very rectangular and ergonomical, I believe. It can get around quite nicely. It can lay down. It can stand up. It can go sideways and get through things. That's what we need. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, I would do it with TARS. I'd go up there with TARS. Yeah, explore Mars with TARS and the moon. Let's go. TARS on Mars. On that note, I'm gonna sign off today. I had a really great time talking with you guys. It was a lot of fun. I just love that. I love being with you. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.